All right, let's talk about essay structure. An academic essay has typically a few different purposes to convince, to explain, to analyze, those sorts of higher level thinking skills. That means that the way you write the essay needs to reveal that kind of logical thinking. So an academic essay is highly organized and it has very specific parts to it. So the structure of the essay is kind of like its skeleton. And there are some key parts to keep in mind that every academic essay should have. So I like to think about it in terms of these shapes and kind of the way the essay hangs together. So the first paragraph of the essay is always the introduction paragraph. The last paragraph is the conclusion. In between are the body paragraphs. And so I've used these shapes to kind of show what they do and kind of how they function. So the intro paragraph is like an upside down triangle or a funnel. That's another way to think about it. It begins broadly. You might not even mention the topic yet. This is where you build some good background information. You try to get your reader's interest. Then you begin to narrow down to maybe introducing the topic of the essay. And then you narrow all the way down to this last sentence of the intro paragraph, which is your thesis. A thesis statement is a sentence that clearly states the point of the entire essay. You don't have to use words like this essay is going to, or I will, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be that blatant, but it is a very specific sentence that is the statement. It's not a question, but it's the statement of the idea that by the time I'm done reading that essay, that idea has been supported or proven. So that's the intro paragraph. So this upside down triangle that ends with your thesis. Every single body paragraph, and there's no set number for these, sort of the minimum is 3, but you don't have to stop there. You can use however many you want, however many you need to get your point across. So each body paragraph, each one, is one idea that supports or connects back to the thesis statement. The first sentence of every new paragraph tells me what that idea is, and then the rest of the paragraph explains it or gives examples or whatever it needs to do. That first sentence is known as the transition sentence. So your transition sentences into each new paragraph should be kind of like a clear announcement of here's what this paragraph is going to do. So some good examples of transitions. Sometimes you need kind of like numbers, like the first reason that blah, blah, blah is true. That's a good transition sentence. And then the next paragraph would say something like the second reason or another reason. So that way you see as the reader the order that these ideas are coming in. That's why transition sentences are so key for the reader, because it makes the logic of the thinking obvious to me as I'm reading the essay. So we've got our intro paragraph that ends with our thesis, the body paragraphs, each one starting with a really clear sentence that kind of connects it to whatever came before and tells you how it's connected to the thesis. The final paragraph of the essay is the conclusion paragraph, and it kind of works opposite of the intro. It starts really narrow because you've been in these really specific ideas up to that point, but then it broadens it back out and it ends the essay with kind of like this big picture idea. Here's why this matters. Let me draw this back out for you, the reader, so I can show you why this is such a key idea. That's the basic structure of an essay. When you begin to think about the essays that you're going to write for this class, you'll see when we start modules 2, 3, and 4, you'll see that there are basically 2 big assignments for each essay. In addition to discussion boards where you're going to be working with each other about your topics, you're also going to first turn in to me an outline of the essay, which is basically this. You don't have to draw the shapes, but here's what my intro paragraph is going to say. Here's what my thesis is. paragraph 1 is about this, paragraph 2 is about this, paragraph 3 is about this, on and on. Here's what my conclusion is going to say. So this kind of structure becomes the outline that you'll turn in, where you're saying, here's what I'm planning. Here are the ideas that my essay is going to contain. That way I can give you feedback right then and there before you actually write the essay and it's too late. So I can give you feedback there, and it will help you build a better essay and hopefully get more points so that you get a better grade. So that's really the reason to do it. Essay structure. It's exciting. So the journal that you're going to turn in below on essay structure and outlining asks you, read the assignment sheet, because it asks you some specific questions. It refers to some passages in your textbooks, so make sure you've got them ready as well. But it asks you to kind of think about and process and put into your own words how this structuring works and why it's important. And so for your journal, again, make sure you read the assignment sheet, but it's going to ask you to kind of process through these sorts of structure ideas. All right. I look forward to reading your journals and seeing how you're thinking through the structure of an academic essay.